Welcome back to a new video. In this video we're gonna talk about double exposure photography and in particular about Polaroids. Okay, to achieve this effect, of course, you need a camera that is able to make a double exposure picture. In this case I'm gonna use the TL70 from Mint. It's a very capable camera. I have just used this camera more than once, and also I have a video when I unbox this camera. I'm gonna put all the links down below. The first tip I'm gonna give you before even start to think about what you need and whatever is to think. It's very important because before you even take your camera, just think about the subject you would like to portray and the background that you want to just mesh together is very important, really. And the second tips I'm gonna give you is that contrast is your friend. And why? When you're taking a picture with double exposure using film, like in this case, you have to know that you're gonna put more than one exposure, as the name say, in the same kind of picture. And for this reason, the first picture you're gonna take is gonna be the main one, and also the one you're gonna substitute the subject with the background. To make this effect, like in this picture, for example, you need a very contrasting situation, so you need, in the best scenario, like a silhouette or a shape that is black and a background that is completely white. So, before even start to take the picture itself, I'm gonna suggest you something that you're gonna need to make the same effect that I'm gonna do. In this case, I print the piece of paper. It's not important that it is A4, it could be like any kind of size that you would like. Of course, you have to take in mind that you're gonna make a picture of this, so the bigger the better. So, in this case, I choose some birds. And to just make the effect, we're gonna cut one of the shape. I'm gonna choose, for example, this one. And for making the effect, we're gonna cut the shape out and we're gonna stick on a white surface. So, let's start with cutting the shape of this bird. And then meanwhile I'm doing that, I'm gonna give you also the third tips. And the third tip is macro is very cool. And why I'm choosing macro? First of all, because in this case I choose, stupidly, actually very small size birds, so of course I need to be very close with the subject. In this case is this bird, to make a proper picture that covers the entire, basically, frame of the picture. Another reason why macro is very cool, because probably you're gonna use for a substitute, you know, the texture of your subject, very close subject, like could be like flowers, could be detail of texture, so you need to be very close to have a very great result. So in the meanwhile I'm finished this thing that is gonna take me a pretty long time. This bird has a lot of details, you know. We're gonna jump to the fourth tips that I'm gonna give you is, like, in my case, work best using very close aperture. So I'm gonna use, for taking this picture, f16. I think it's gonna be the best for the subject to take all the highlights. Let's take the picture. The fifth and very important, of course, tips is to check your exposure. It's very important that you take your time and just to make sure that everything's set. In this case, I'm gonna use an app that is called like Light Meter. I'm gonna put all the link down below to check it. I have just done it, and I'm gonna use for the correct exposure f8 on this specifically camera. So let's take it. At this point I'm gonna yak the film and we're gonna check the result. In the meanwhile the picture is developing, I'm gonna give you the sixth tip. When you're very close and you want to take the picture, in my case with my TL70, really you have to consider another effect. Most of the time the viewfinder is not perfectly aligned with basically the sensor of the camera, in this case the film. So basically when you take the picture, it's gonna be shift. It can be right, it can be left, can be top or down. And depends on the camera, this effect would be more pronounced. In my case, when I'm very close, it's very hard to take a proper centered picture, so I have to really think, and also more than normally, because the viewfinder is gonna tell me something that is not actually like that. So in this case in particular, I'm pretty happy with the result. The picture is pretty centered. Unfortunately, the texture that I choose is not as relevant as the other one that I've took it, but you know, I'm pretty happy with the result. Finally, the last tips I'm gonna give you is gonna be more a warning that you're gonna waste a lot of film in trying, because really for this parallax effect I have to take this picture more than once to achieve the best composition, so be sure the composition is gonna be fine. I have done a lot of pictures, I have tried different kind of composition. In this case is horizontal, but you can also take picture in a vertical mode like this one. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to understand more what is Polaroid photography, and we're gonna see to the next video. Bye. Ah, of course, if you want to check the picture that I've took today, some of them, you can go to my Instagram account. I'm gonna put all the links down below. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and also to my Instagram account. It would be very lovely. Bye, see you to the next one.